Well, we are making do with the week that we had, which unfortunately wasn't much real news, but we're still going to deliver a podcast per usual. Of course, we're once again doing some Q&A sent in by you, the members of the channel. And as always, before we get into it, let me just mention some of the stuff we offer to members, like full-on Let's Plays, video game reviews, and recommendations, some unboxings of things, including me in a card game / board game, retro video game reviews, Resident Evil Nemesis, Ultimate Spider-Man, and more. And of course, some of the other latest things like movie reviews, and of course the continuation of more TV shows. Now, let's get to the podcast.
The coronavirus here with her gloves on, and then it showed every other place that she passed the coronavirus to.
We don't call it the coronavirus yet, we have code words.
Well, we're not on the live thing, so I can call it that right now.
It's the C word.
But I was just like, oh my gosh. And what's funny is, like, you sit there and you watch it. She takes the gloves off when she gets to her doorknob, but she's already touched her face with the gloves.
How about we'll call it the combat? There we go. With a K, so you can't tell.
I was going to say, it's all like that Scrubs episode where they had that one woman go through the hospital and everything's getting contaminated. And then she just eventually touches her face. It's like, oh no, she's gonna die.
Yep. So it looks like everything's good. Audio's actually perfect the first time. So we'll just get. So it's another one of those weeks. So we're gonna kick it off with the most important topic of the week: Tiger King. That's what we're here to talk about. All right.
Oh man.
So you people, in case you missed it, go check out Netflix's Tiger King. It's absolutely insane.
This is why I didn't want to say anything last week when I brought it up.
Yeah,
I was like, no, it's too nuts to say anything. No one would ever believe it.
What you need to do, and before we get into the conversation, obviously we're going to talk spoilers about this. So what you need to do is at least get to the end of the first episode. It starts off kind of like, yeah, okay, I don't see why people are kind of like all excited for this. So 15, 20 minutes in there, you might be like, I don't get it. What's the hype? And then it just loses its mind, and you're like, this is going places.
Yeah.
The second you hear the name Carol Baskin, that's when it will tell you. The second you hear Carol Baskin, it's like,
dude, I never understood how deep the well goes with people that like tigers and
big cats.
Lions.
No, they're
big
called
cats.
big cat lovers.
I never understood how deep this could go until this documentary came out. I'm like, oh wow, this is like murder, sabotage, like crazy cult people. Oh Lord.
It's something else.
And I love the fact that they put Shaquille O'Neal under the bus. We found out that's where he gets his tigers from. This show, I sat there and I saw so many memes about it. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And all of our friends binge watched it like in a day. And we were smart because we were like, all right, we're going to do 1 to 2 episodes a day
so we
can actually like process everything.
Yeah.
So when I was sitting there telling them about an episode we just saw, they're like, I don't remember that. I'm like, well, yeah, because you freaking binge watched the entire thing. And so a lot of our friends are going back, and just the memes that have come out of this.
So, how do we even start talking about this? Crazy people. Crazy. See, man, now I gotta beep Shay all the time. Damn, this is getting interesting.
No, it's what
I probably won't beep it though. It doesn't matter. It's fucking insane though. Like that's. So, anyways, actually, before we get into this, this is your host Armin. I'm on the side of the law when it comes to Tiger Kings. I'll say that. But we'll talk about which sides of the law, because there's multiple sides of this.
My God.
I mean, that's the important part. The important part is, do you believe Carol Baskin killed her husband?
Yes.
Yes. I believe it. That's my stance. This better not be a Civil War-style split that's happening in the group. I'm joined by Mitch.
Let's hope you can find Mitch692, and she absolutely did kill her husband.
Oh, totally. Okay, good. So we're on the same page there. Also, Tristan is with us.
Yeah, you can catch me at SJ Chance, and I just watched the supercut because
you've missed so much.
And there's like 2 or 3 supercuts. They're like 15 to 30 minutes long a piece.
Oh,
No,
they
it's
just,
crazy.
So much missed.
they just get to it. When you get to time, you got to watch the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. And
But what side are you on, Tristan? Are you on or that she did or did not?
I'm on the side that she did because she's a little out there.
Oh, she legit fed him to the lions. She fed him.
Well, she even sits there and tells you have to pour sardine juice on them.
Yep.
And
It's just like, hang on.
Dude, the way she looks at the camera, you're like, is she gonna come after me now? Because I'm watching this.
oh man.
Alright, Shay, introduce yourself.
Yep, you guys can find me at Michelle1602, and I am so on the side that Carol killed her husband. Like,
Good work.
millions of dollars just happened to now, days before she was going to get divorced by him, and 2 months prior to that, she said, I'm gonna kill you. And he put a restraining order, or attempted to put a restraining order on her. I'm like...
I love how the law system's just like, well, we couldn't do anything until it actually happened. What? That's so backwards!
It's because there was no... It was the verbal threat and no physical harm. I'm like, no.
USA!
I am so happy that this cold case has been, like, completely brought back up because of this.
Try to reopen it.
Oh, they will open it.
Oh, they have.
Well, what insanity. So you want to explain, like, so the main star of the show, Joe Exotic, here's the best way I can describe everybody in this show. Imagine Macho Man Randy Savage when he was coked out of his mind cutting promos. That's everybody in this show normal. And I should preface that, normal, they were also coked and methamphetamine out of their mind as well.
Especially everybody on Joe's side.
Yeah, there's substances and things going on. They all feel like amped up wrestling personas, and that's...
Oh, man.
Like,
even Doc.
All of them. Joe Exotic, though, he's the one that everybody's talking about, because people are like, should he be free? I've seen celebrities being like, free to man, we're going to start GoFundMes for him. I'm like, huh.
No.
Like,
No, like, I get it, but no, he was abusing animals.
Not one person in that show is a good person.
Oh, definitely not. They're all
No.
scumbags.
Like, what's really sad is I'm actually going to cut, like, to the end because it shows you how insane money can warp you. That they showed original clips of Joe being like, I'm opening this. He originally opened his park as a sanctuary until the money started coming in. And he used to sit there and say, these animals don't belong here in this cage with me. They belong back out in the wild, but unfortunately they're domesticated and we can't put them out there because they would die. So in the beginning, he originally was an advocate for the lions and tigers until he started
It's
seeing
kind
the
of
money.
like they all started with a good cause, but then...
They started with what they believed was a good cause.
Exactly.
No domesticated big cat is ever
Right.
a good cause.
But then they're like, slowly start spiraling. They're like, well, we're domesticating them, but we just want to bring awareness to it, and we're raising some money to donate. And then you jump fast forward like a year after they started, they're like, all right, so we're smuggling cocaine, and it's like, wow, how did you even get here after a year? Like, why? Like the one dude's like, yeah, so there's like, I was in the traffic business, and we'd fly over like to down south. Then we like smuggle cocaine and some snakes. I'm like, what is just happening? Like, dude, it gets crazy out of hand. It's insane.
I think what's the most sad part about it is the fact that they're in the wild. There are 5,000 wild tigers.
I thought it was 400.
No, it's 5,000.
It's 4,000 to 5,000, I believe.
It was 5,000. I remember this distinctly. There's 5,000 out in the wild because there's 6 to 10 in the United States inside of cages and domesticated.
Crazy.
There are twice the amount domesticated. And mind you can't actually domesticate these animals.
No.
Yeah.
I think they can.
But there's upwards to 10,000. Twice the amount that are alive in the wild. It's insane. It is crazy.
But it's one of those like double-edged sword things. It's like, well, the more numbers you have of them, the better.
Right.
It's like, yes, good thing they're not endangered anymore, But at the same time, it's like, but they shouldn't be there.
Right.
Like,
and you can't put them in the wild now because they would have no clue what to do.
Exactly. That's
why the rehabilitation centers. Like, there's a very big difference between a sanctuary, a zoo, and a rehabilitation center. A rehabilitation center does anything and everything they can to teach these animals how to be a wild animal,
But
and
still,
allows them
they're
to
kinda like-
set free.
they're still warped though, and then they get hunted. So it's like
That's the issue,
The
is
show
poaching.
shines a light on everything, like every aspect of it. The one part I thought was the craziest was the dude who, Doc, who paints himself like a Shambhalan monk of inner peace.
Yes.
And I'm just like, because I'm a firm believer, and I look into all that stuff with Shambhala and the inner peace and all that, and like I firmly believe that mentality of thinking and bettering yourself from the inside, and like the Tibetan beliefs, and he's like warped it into this like trafficking cult for women. It's insane.
Got his own little harem and everything. I
saw him. He was just nuts. Like, it was from how the employees go into the program as teenagers, and then they get promotions on was it the like exotic words that mean like lord and all that other stuff. And I'm like,
the only way that they get promoted and they get out of like the shack that they live in is if they sleep.
You gotta
with him.
get with him.
Yeah.
no, it was like, wasn't it that rundown horse stable that they lived in that had cockroaches and everything?
Oh,
Yep.
It's like, you got to get a titty job to get promotions. Just like, well, that's like, come on.
yeah.
That's what was
like,
so
like, you
messed
see him
up.
get all pissed. He goes, "I don't run a sex call." I'm like, kind of sounds
You
like
kind of do.
Like,
You kind of do.
The one woman who she was like, wait, I didn't even agree to like. I just kind of was like, I'm in the hospital. All these appointments were made, and I was like, well, you know what? This is the only way I can take a week off of work was to get implants.
And
I'm like,
I love how like the girls there are like, we work every day, 18 to 20 hours a day, and it is a reward. It is so great. He tells us what to eat and when, and I'm just like,
for $100.
for $100 a week is what they get
$100 a week.
paid.
That's,
And they're not allowed to leave the facility unless they completely leave.
It's
And that's him. And then of course, like Joe Exotic, he made two straight men, quote unquote gay,
yeah.
because he was able to pump them with so much meth
Yeah.
and drugs that they and showered them with gifts like rifles and cars and four-wheelers to allow them to stay with him.
Honestly, that was insane. Like, that's...
When the one guy, his one husband, was like, I actually was never gay. Like, yes, I would allow him to do those things. Did I like him?
It was weird, yeah.
I liked him. I was never in love with him.
it was funny because when you hear Joe Exotic say is that would you allow them to have relations with females, and he gets mad and says, I can't compete with that.
Yeah.
He's like, at least with another guy, I've got the upper hand. I'm like,
And I love how he was like, his country CDs, where he's like,
oh my
I'm
gosh.
singing about Carol Baskin, and dude, the lookalike, I actually thought it was her.
I thought it was too.
Like,
but like, why is it all of them do the songs? They all do those country songs. It's like, what is it with these Tiger people in these
I
country
don't know.
Is it just like an American thing? Like, what am I missing?
No, that's a country thing.
I was gonna say, don't clump us in with them.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it's the rest of the world, that's most of it. Either like you're a cowboy in your country or you're a hillbilly.
That's true.
Americans, the rest of the world.
Well, I feel offended by that because I'm neither of those. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's so. And Joe Exotic, this is how you can picture him, and I've seen this meme all over the place, and I think it's hilarious. He is a bad bleach job, mullet wearing gay cowboy.
Yep, that's...
Yep.
Yeah.
That is what he is.
Now, also, people might be like, wait, so what's up with him? So he's in jail because he hired hitmen.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yes.
That is a very flimsy
you
cause.
know, it's
Yes, he
was
wanted
also
her dead.
He was also egged on by another
Scummy
man who clearly is,
not all there.
like, he's not there, and him and his swinger wife are there and they took over the thing and posed as millionaires to steal it all from everybody. That Jeff Lowe character, oh man, what a...
Oh, they're all getting their days
What
coming.
a character. And what's funny is, like, in the show, everybody's like, the moment the feds come to them, they're like, I will throw everyone under the bus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's a snitch. I'm like, oh.
I've got dirt on 30 people. Just like, whoa, okay.
Well, mind you, like, originally, this is the thing, like, Joe was smart. He may have seemed very dumb, and he hid it from everyone. But man, that boy was smart, because once he broke, he's been in jail for like a couple months, and he broke already.
Dude, the fact he had all those like Windows 98 computers with all those files, I'm like, oh, this dude was smart. He had a master PC and drives. He just
had carbon copies of so many things. Like, he had the dirt and rat on 30 plus people, and he was like, I never thought PETA, the people who tried to shut me down, would ever be my allies. He sat there and he snitched all of them out, and
I mean, he's trying to get a plea deal, right?
He already got it,
well,
because
he's actually legitimately asked Trump for a full pardon.
Oh, I saw that today.
He's just like, are you kidding me?
He
probably
did,
get
though.
it 'cause it's Trump, but
He did get, though, his sentence reduced.
Oh yeah, to
because
22 years. Yeah,
it's 22 from the almost 80 he was originally supposed to, and he got all 19 counts on him.
Which I guarantee, like, there's clearly a setup for season 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
like it's.
The fact that
it's still kind of ongoing as well. It's like there's definitely going to be a season 2. We don't know when, but it's definitely going to be in the one.
we got to see how Doc got rated.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to know is how Joe Exotic could do what he did at the Tiger incident with one of his employees. He could just realistically just go into the employee desk, tell all the customers that they had an incident where one of their employees got their arm ripped off.
Oh.
But if you want a refund or a rain check, I can give it to you right now with a straight face. And then after that, he has the gall to say, not worry about the employee, worry about his financial, all of his money is going to be gone after this.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, he was able to warp her so much, but she also, though, seemed like she actually cared for the animals. Like, she was afraid that if she didn't go back to work, the animals would be brought somewhere that they would not be able to live, at least the way that they were at that time. Because she's like, 3 days later, after she got her arm amputated, she was back.
And again, brings into question, yes, it's the power of that, but also we know he was, giving them substances and stuff at the same time. Once you're hooked on that stuff, if he's giving it to you as part of your quote-unquote
she
payment...
never said that she was, though.
You never
there
know.
was a couple of people, though, that they even said the town would help him. They would hire people that were at the bus stops and that for free, and things like that. So, like, it's... I loved, though, did you guys notice by the end of the series, though, or by the end of the season, everybody was driving some real nice cars.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
I was like, wait a second, y'all got some real nice cars up in here.
It's just weird because, like, after all that, it's all, Joe, what do you want us to do? Do the tours, but keep your hands out of the cages.
Yeah. I mean, with all that, you kind of just look at this, and I'm just like,
Insane.
I'm like, some of the other stuff I've seen, man, I'm kind of like, some of these people are kind of normal compared to some of these dudes, like, and these guys are just trying to like run the shadiest businesses, and then you look at that, Carol Baskin.
Oh my god.
And she's just like she has like no empathy. Like
she has
she's
warped
a completely blank slate.
Like,
everyone.
It's literally her face, like they're like, oh, so your husband died. She's like, yeah, he did. I'm like, whoa, oh my god.
It's the fact that she laughs after the whole fish oil comment. It's just like, yeah, you did it, didn't you?
And then,
you absolutely did it.
Here's the thing, though. Even in her interviews, like, you can tell that was the most BS fake crying ever.
God.
I don't like know where he is. But Exactly. 5 years and a day later, she declared him dead and she got all the money. And the fact that his will, she stole the original will and changed the wording to "in case my disappearance."
Just changed like the 11th hour.
Who in the heck says "in my disappearance"? And even the judge or the law guy that was there, the lawyer,
He's questioning.
he was like, in all of my years, I have never once seen somebody said "in case of my disappearance."
And so like specifically, yeah, it's with that, like what the hell happened to him? You don't own like tens of millions of dollars and just disappear like that without a trail somewhere.
Yeah. Especially
even if you can fly and like you have like with the planes he had, like you don't just do that.
Right.
Well, like I like how she was like, well, he kind of had like some accidents, and if he just flew into the ocean, like we never would see him. I'm like
here's my thing. I love history. I read, watch anything I can absorb. To the fact that we can still today go to Argentina and literally trace Nazi submarines that left like Sweden and Germany and Norway, their exact path, when they touched down, where they established camps, and which exact high-level officers were there. Almost 80 years after, we can trace like, oh, this is exactly where he stood. And it's like, that stuff is out there. They're like, oh, well, we know this guy and this guy. And I'm like, dude, we can do that with most people now. Like, America's most wanted.
Like, yes, there is that plane that went missing recently. That big, like, commercial airline.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea where it's gone. But, like, the plane he flew, it wouldn't get to where he was.
Exactly.
Yep. There's no way it would have reached it. And it's just like, no.
And they even went to Puerto Rico to try finding him, and they're like, there's no traces of him.
Yeah, they said they went to a couple places where he would frequent and asked the locals, and none of them saw him. And then the conspicuously placed van there, it's like,
and I felt so bad for the guy who did the oil change. He's like, he just needed a tune-up, and of course my fingerprint was on it. I'm the one who fixed it, and then here comes the feds, and they're like, "Did you kill him?" And he's like, "Ah!" It's amazing, like, and mind you, like Armin and I were talking about this, like warthogs and things like that. They have been notorious to have been fed humans, and giant pigs and things like that. It's notorious that if you want to dispose of somebody, you do that, because they will eat everything.
That's what they did in the Old West. If you didn't want to get caught for murder, you just feed it to the pigs, because they would eat everything. And
the thing is tigers can do that as well. Like, they had to sit there and eat some of the bone marrow and that of their wild catches. So it's not far-fetched that she fed parts of him to tigers.
It's the fact that their stomach acid will literally just get rid of any trace.
Yeah.
You never know when it comes out.
Yep. And it is interesting. Like, she did a good job, but and the fact that, like, she was able to randomly just happen to run into her brother, who's the sheriff, days before her husband goes missing. I'm like, dude, there are way too many coincidences. And every single time she's like, why does everybody keep thinking I fed him to the tigers? I'm like, girl, you are psycho. Like,
craziness.
And her new husband, the fact that their wedding photos, she had him on a leash.
Yo, that was creepy.
I'm like, these two are borderlining furries.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can't kink shame.
I'm not. But here's the thing. She was not the one in charge when it came to her husband.
Yeah.
But she now has her third one, which is the one that's in the show. Her third husband, she was able to control, and he is right underneath that thumb of hers.
Oh my god. It's craziness.
Like, and the fact that how she warps all of her volunteers, she does not pay a penny to these people. It's, oh yeah, no, we go through the volunteer, like, once you do this, you get this shirt, and then once you've been here for that long, you get that shirt.
And I love how she's just like, oh, some of these people have been here 5 years, and I finally start to recognize them. It's like, oh,
I was like, wow, you're kind of scummy. Like,
damn.
Like, there's some.
So her face around that meat grinder, it's like, yeah, you put him through that.
Yeah.
That meat grinder is clearly the cause of everything going on right now.
And then, of course, like, the septic tank. She's like, how could I even have put him under there? Like, we just installed it before he went missing.
The concrete, the concrete.
Oh, really? You guys did it right before he went missing? I don't think anything was settled until after. Like, it's...
God damn, Carol Baskin.
They're gonna find stuff. And the fact that the internet alone has helped solve so many, like when we were watching Watchmen, the Tulsa incident has now been reopened and rediscovered.
And so much has been found out about that case and how much was hid. It's like, oh.
Like, Carol, your days are numbered. You, Jeff Lowe, everybody.
I'm just waiting for Joe Exotic from jail to be like, I've been moved to confinement because of medical reasons. I know it's Carol Baskin out there spreading it.
Oh, boy.
I love he blames everything on her. He's like, I stubbed my toe. Carol Baskin.
Like, okay, here's my big thing. How in the heck did he warp this little Dylan kid, his newest husband?
Money and drugs.
Dylan's the one that shot himself, right?
No, that was Travis.
Yes, Travis, yeah.
Travis is the one who accidentally shot himself, which, guys, like, you don't see him do it, but you watch somebody's reaction. It is, you just, your heart stops because you see the flash, and
it's just over then, It was kind of shocking.
But the guy's reaction, and he still stayed there and, like, helped out Joe as much as he could because he realized. But guys, imagine this though. Joe tried to be president.
Yeah.
And governor. So this guy who can manipulate straight men to being gay.
Look, the fact he got 19% of the votes is shocking.
Yeah.
Wait,
but is it though? Looking at the current American political climate, is that shocking?
Okay, that's true.
I was not surprised in the slightest.
I love though the fact that the reason why he went for governor was because he didn't want to wait 4 years to run as president again. He was running at the same time that Hillary and Trump were running.
Oh, God.
Like,
what a time to be alive, right? Like, what a...
Yeah.
I can't wait for season 2. That's what I'm going to say. Like, that's... Whenever they get around to producing it and shooting more, I
hope they're
can't
shooting
wait.
right now. Like,
they can't do it right now, can they?
Oh, no. Unless they were already there and they're like, well, since y'all are together, just
quarantine shooting.
Quarantine y'all together.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's
can we quarantine Exotic and Baskins together and just record that? No.
Oh, Jesus.
No, they're going to share a jail cell.
It's kind of like a snuff film, I suppose, but like...
No, they're going to share a jail cell together, and they're just going to sit there and be like, all right.
No.
There we go.
Guys, if we want to rebound the economy, put those two in a gladiator match on pay-per-view. $50 a ticket. Watch them each with a tiger fight each other. I will pay money for that.
The tigers are all on the outside, like, so once one of them starts getting too injured, the tigers are gonna get like ramped up.
It's the old WWF Kennel from Hell match. It's a cage within a cage, but outside the cage is actual dogs and like animals and stuff. We need to book this. This would rebound the economy of the world. Trust me.
Oh my gosh.
But
don't forget, you gotta put oil on them. You have to put
sardine oil.
You can't do perfume. He just wants to play with perfume. You need to eat it.
Dude, that scene where he starts getting dragged by the foot and he starts like beating it with a stick and he pulls out the gun. He's like, I'm gonna shoot you.
I hated just the fact that he pulled out the gun. I'm like, oh, he's gonna do it, isn't he? He's at that point. It's
yeah,
like, oh.
It's so southern though, just waving the guns around for no reason.
And then of course, did you guys hear how every time he would hit one of his tigers, he'd apologize to the tiger? Yeah. He would hit it. He's like, I'm sorry, y'all made me do this, Colonel Baskins. Damn it! And like,
anything tigers, I don't remember that.
Yep.
Goddamn.
Here's the one thing. Like, you can tell that he started to realize that what he was doing was wrong when he was like, my 2 chimpanzees that I had for 10 years in separate cages, next to each other, but separate from each other. He released them to a sanctuary for apes and chimpanzees and that, and within 2 days they were in the same one together, and he got a video of them hugging and embracing each other, and he's like,
why were
I
you in
was the
separate
reason
cages?
why they didn't for 10 years. Like, I think by the end, he really truly understood the wrong he was doing. But
it's so odd because at the start he's like, oh, like you keep him in the cage and like it takes their soul away. You got to you keep him like, happy and all that. And then he has that realization. It's like, well, shouldn't you have had that at the start of everything?
Well, he was already in jail, and that's when he realized, he was like, oh, because my soul is gone, because I'm in a cage, I've realized what I've done to my animals.
Yeah, it hits you a little too late, But, that's our 30-minute discussion on Tiger
Just
King.
go watch it, guys.
Go watch it.
It's insane.
I mean, if you want to know, he almost kills his camera guys multiple times because he wants to show people how he uses his guns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and apparently at their local Walmart you can buy, like, dynamite.
You can do that at ours.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I don't go to those sections.
What, you can buy dynamite?
No, you can buy stuff that's just about, it's the legal amount that'll cause an explosion if you shoot it. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
So if you go a couple of days in a row, you can just stack it together and you're going to, like, implode a house.
He sat there and he's like, this is the legal amount that you're allowed to buy at my local Walmart. And he sat there and he shot at it and blew up a tree. I was
America!
my jaw hit the ground when he said this was the legal amount you can buy in a day at
You could, like,
Walmart.
blow apart a car.
I was like, oh my.
Greatness. So go watch the show, guys, and hopefully you enjoy this side discussion.
I'll stop just to go watch the show.
Well, now in case people made it this far, we'll just reintroduce ourselves. This is, of course, Armin, your host. Shout out to the dudes that have been joining me on that Call of Duty. I've gotten more of you to join me on some Warzone. So, just add me up on there. If I'm on, join up the open lobby and we'll game together. And it's always...
Killing people with helicopters.
Oh god, dude, I've been getting real good at vehicle combat. I'm trying to rank up some of those ribbons, but I am joined this week by Mitch.
So you can find me at Mitch692.
Also Tristan.
You can catch me at SJChance.
And Shay.
Hey guys, you can find me at Michelle1602 on Instagram.
So, the first question of the week is I'm going to be talking about something specific. This is, of course, taken from our members, and it's from Isaac. And he asks, can you discuss how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters can continue in other Marvel shows or movies? Like, how would you incorporate them into the core MCU? Or how you would incorporate any Jeff Loeb shows into the core MCU, actually? So we're going to talk about everything that came from Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Television, which includes all the Netflix stuff, the Hulu stuff, the yet unreleased Hellstrom, and, all that stuff that came out. How do you go about incorporating this into the core MCU, Kevin Feige continuity so they acknowledge each other?
Well, for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first, you've got to bring them back.
Yeah.
To the actual timeline, because they are not in that timeline anymore.
That's true.
That's where you start.
And obviously, we have to realize when Doctor Strange comes out and WandaVision, that's going to explain and open up so much that you'll be able to bring some of these characters in very easily. Well,
it's the thing, you can bring them in, for the most part, you haven't got to do anything to bring them in, right? Daredevil and everyone, you just say they're in there.
Right.
The Avengers aren't in the city anymore, they're in upstate New York, so they're slightly separated from each other. You just got to film some things in each show to, have the event take place there.
Wait.
Cloak and Dagger's different state. You don't need much crossover there, so Runaways. Mm-hmm. The only real problem is S.H.I.E.L.D.
But S.H.I.E.L.D. is also, though, one that you can always say they've been just there hiding in the shadows.
Also, parallel universe works for me because they were time jumping and side jumping, so it's like...
They were also in space for a few years.
Yeah, in the future as well, so it's like...
Yep.
If Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was to establish, everything we did was kind of out of tune after season 1 because of time manipulation, I'd be like, yeah, I buy this. So
or
if
the monoliths,
Right.
like, sat
So-
there and warped them.
Yeah, so if they show up like in the last season, if they return, they're like there during the blip time. I'm like, fine. I think they're pretty easy to explain, honestly. Like, at least some of the aspects, but then there's other aspects like to me the Netflix shows, right? One, yes, they never showed Avengers Tower, even though we know exactly where it should be. So, again, you could say that all those shows, you could kind of skew, being like, well, they're right after the Avengers, maybe, or there's a certain time period. It's a little lazy, because they have to take place after the Avengers, but...
Like, a really easy way if you have to do anything is just, like, once like, Netflix let them go, because they're going to let them go at some point, right? You just then put in the Avengers Tower.
You could, yeah.
You can easily go back and just re-edit everything.
Well,
and then you can have a timeline of how it looks. And
Daredevil, though, is the one that you don't need to do that. Because Daredevil even talks about how they're after the attack.
Like, they all reference events from the movies. Like,
Yeah.
Sokovia's directly referenced. Is it Punisher?
I think it's Punisher.
That, like, some of the squad mates were in Sokovia, or it's one of the shows.
I mean, Jessica Jones season 3 is clearly after Civil War. Because they talk about it.
The only one I haven't watched, but
Yeah, we
I do
haven't
know
watched
that.
that one.
And I do.
The ending does involve the raft.
Well,
heavily.
also, Jessica Jones season 2 mentions the Inhuman outbreak because they question if she's one of them. So it's like there's things happening. I just think it's like you said, the Avengers Tower placement. They could add it in there. It doesn't even bother me. It's not in there. Honestly, I don't care. I get it. It was time constraints, and Netflix didn't want to spend more money.
It was also
budget.
getting the actual model
Right.
CGI for it. It's like.
Yeah, and I mean, there's YouTube videos out there of fans that added it in a bunch of shots, and it looks amazing as hell. You could never tell that it was like
Not there.
Yeah, the fans did it. So it's like, again, I get it. I think it's just a matter of what do they want to incorporate and use. Like Daredevil, I think is a guarantee. Like that's him, and I think Punisher are probably the safest because Bernthal is great, and everybody that works with him seems to love him.
Oh my gosh,
so
yeah.
like.
He was also in Daredevil, so it's kind of it wouldn't be difficult to recast him or anything, but it's like he's already in Daredevil season 2, so just bring him back.
I've got a question. Just throwing this out there because the fact that I really want Iron Fist to come back, and with the current delays of everything that's happening, could he now potentially be a part of it? Because once things start rolling again, it could be in a closer time frame.
Iron Fist was canceled this October. I think it's going to be around October 10th to 15th, somewhere in there.
Wasn't it before that?
It was canceled a little before that, but the official announcement was made around there. So, I mean, if they hypothetically, who knows how long delays are happening on Shang-Chi, let's say they pick up shooting this fall, and that runs up, they could feasibly add Iron Fist to that tournament they're doing, right?
September
they could.
7th of 2018 is...
Oh, so I was right on the money, all right.
Yep, is when the final episode was released.
And then, a month later it was canceled, so...
Yeah.
So, like, I would maybe add mentions to Iron Fist in there somewhere or something, like...
But then you have the question of, because, let's be honest, Finn Jones ain't coming back.
No.
He wants to, though.
Oh, he wants to,
but... They all want to come back and do it. They're all up for it. It's just a question of, does Feige want Finn Jones?
Right.
Feige wants Cox.
Of course.
Don't want Finn Jones.
Here's the thing. Why would he not want Finn Jones? He's literally just living up in the hippieville.
He's literally Iron Fist.
He literally is. I follow him on Instagram, and he is legit so much Danny Rand. It's not even funny because of the fact that he is either out in the woods or in people's private makeshift raves. Like that's it. Like that is what he does. I'm like, you are legit him.
I mean, the whole Iron Fist thing is, as much as I love that character, he's literally my favorite comic run of all time, the Immortal Iron Fist. I think that character, there's even an article that popped up recently from about 2010 where Kevin Feige was like, oh, I see huge potential in an Iron Fist future in a movie. It's like, oh, I do believe that is there, but who knows if you recast or you bring back the same or soft reboot, it can be one of these things.
Here's the thing. Do you think they bring back the Inhumans actors from Ms. Marvel?
No. No,
There you go then.
No,
There's
exactly.
your answer. It's gone. Which sucks because I like Jessica Henwick in that show, so I kind of want to see more of her. But
I mean, I think you
Ain't
could maybe pick and choose. I mean, here's the thing, and here's how I approach this. Who still goes, you know what? Oh, let's all complain about Mark Ruffalo not looking like Edward Norton, or, you know, like, a different actor for War Machine. Yes, I get it. It was Phase 1. Guess what? People still aren't going to care, okay? Like, people will not care if you recast some of these because there's problems. People just go, oh, that's that same character, just a new actor. So I think most of these can be soft rebooted. Some elements can be kept around. Some actors, like, again, the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is in continuity 100%. They brought back Thunderbolt Ross, but, you know, had Edward Norton. And again, I think we're at the point where it's so much more acceptable now to just be like, yeah, just get going.
But I think the difference with the TV show actors, you know, like, you can easily just pick and choose with what you keep from Netflix. You know, because not everyone showed up in Daredevil or Jessica Jones.
Right.
And those two were the most critically acclaimed out of the 4 or 5. So you can keep everyone from there. Maybe Luke Cage is a bit of a grey area because obviously he did appear in Jessica Jones, but it wasn't a lot. He wasn't integral to most of that plot. Whereas with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, you can leave those where they are, recast them, and then start again and bring them up to the standard.
I think that's what you do.
You are
Yeah.
so amazing.
That's what I would do, honestly. Like,
I've like we've been able to meet. Or
Both of them.
I met both of them. You didn't meet Luke Cage, but they like when you sit there and you asked both of them about the characters that they were playing, like you can tell when somebody is just saying something compared to the light up in
you
their
could tell
eyes.
a job versus a passion. You could tell with those two. Like, same with Charlie Cox when we met him.
my
Like,
gosh.
he was literally like, and that's the thing. Like, for example, them, and then just to quickly kind of sidestep to another character before I forget him, like Ghost Rider, right? The series was clearly canceled by Feige because we're getting Ghost Rider. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got massive plans.
I mean, I'm gonna assume season 2 or 3 we get Ghost Riders, and then they bring in Robbie Reyes and be like, look, it's just another one. Like, you know,
Well, I think the entire plan for the Ghost Rider show they were gonna do was to have Robbie and who's the original one?
like the
Blaze?
cowboy or.
No, is it Johnny Blaze?
Yeah, Blaze.
It was going to have Blaze and Robbie in there, and it was going to kind of like.
Was it going to
reboot,
be
so.
Nick Cage?
Oh!
They were talking to Cage, but
I mean,
I don't think he.
Dude, that would be a redemption arc for him, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
mind you, Nicolas Cage, the little more indie things that he's been doing lately, have kind of redeemed his
yeah,
craziness.
people have been really enjoying those.
But like that really would be a way to redeem him as that character. But I can see them just replacing them, even though like
Oh yeah.
the issue is like I've fallen so in love with all these people as these characters, like Ansem as Black Bolt. So sad that he's not coming back. He even tweeted about it, being like, you know what? I've moved on. I have a new thing, and I am happy the Inhumans are coming back. Am I sad?
And the worst part,
yes,
the worst part about him though is some people are like, well, he could have acted better. I'm like, if you watch Star Trek Discovery, he's the standout of that entire show as I can't remember, Captain Pike. That's his name. So like. That's the thing. Like, I just think a lot of the TV stuff was missteps for one reason or another, specifically the Scott Buck shows, which
It was all Pelmart's fault.
yeah, it is. So how do you just integrate these by saying, yeah, they existed, you recast, and you keep going? Because that's what I would do. Like, that's 100% what you do.
Which ones?
Oh,
all of them, or just pick and choose?
Pick and choose.
So pick and choose, and yeah. I'd
Yeah.
recast Iron Fist, get rid of Luke Cage. All the Inhumans, they'd go.
Yeah.
Anything
Inhumans
people
you
didn't
have to
respond
have.
to, I'd get rid of them.
The Inhumans, the entirety of them, the movie or the show is going to be there. They acknowledge it's a thing, but that is not going to be what is going to be a part of the new.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. I have no knowledge of any of this, okay? Don't quote me on this. Don't say anything. I have no knowledge of this. I'm just making a stupid, bold prediction. we will see these characters return to the MCU first in Marvel's What If.
Ooh.
They will use that as a gateway.
Possibly.
Could you imagine What If Avengers and here's maybe Daredevil or somebody shows up? Like,
Possibly.
I mean,
you could also put in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yep. Like, I mean, you could find reasons to be like, hey, you know, here's a what if scenario for this one thing, and it's taking place in New York, and oh look, he just so happens to run into Power Man or Luke Cage, and you test out the waters, you bring back the actor to voice him, or maybe somebody new. Like, that's how I would test it, honestly, to see the reception. And if people are really like, oh, hell yeah, it's like, alright, I guess we know what they want.
But at the same time, is it worth testing? Because we know they're going to be in Miss Marvel, because we know Miss Marvel's going to be in Human.
True, yes.
So they're still kind of like, it's like, that happened, ignore it. That doesn't happen in here. We're going this way now.
I think in Miss Marvel, they were going to completely 100% reintroduce how the Inhumans are, and how they're going to have to do that is going all the way back to the beginning. How do you integrate Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and those Inhumans from the TV show are an alternate universe.
That would honestly be the best way. Let Doctor Strange, like the multiverse movie, just let that show us multiple universes and toss Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like those Inhumans, on a quick throwaway line or something. Just being like, ugh.
Come on.
That's it.
What was happening with the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the fact that, like, another portal opens and, like, these bird things that go inside of people. Like, that is not happening while the Avengers are walking around, people. Like,
no, it's not, because they're in a different universe then.
Exactly.
Because, like, the Thanos attack happens, and then Earth is still fine in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, that don't fit no timelines. Like, yeah, I think they'll explain it all. So hopefully that answered your question there, and, when we know more...
Also, just put Daisy in this or... Is it Daisy? Yeah, put Daisy in like the sword.
Oh, totally. That would be perfect.
Or even put her in Miss Marvel.
I can see her being in Miss Marvel, and we're gonna get Coulson back because he's an LMD.
No, we're gonna make Coulson a high school teacher like he was in Ultimate Spider-Man, or principal, or whatever the hell he was.
You mean he was that in the framework? He would have PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's a throwback. Jesus, I forgot about that. So
look, I remembered something.
Yeah, there we go. Owl Hero, one of our members asks, most exotic or out-of-the-box series or movie Marvel could produce. I will keep saying this till my final wish comes true. Kazar and the goddamn Savage Land. I need Marvel heroes riding dinosaurs in loincloths, okay?
But is that far out there?
No, it's not.
It's gonna be a what if.
It's not.
It's gonna be a freaking what if.
I think that's how I would test it as well. Like, that is the biggest money-selling toy scheme I've ever, Jurassic Park sells. Superhero sells. What if we have the Hulk riding a T-Rex? How does that...
What if we have a Hulk T-Rex?
A Hulk oh my god, I will buy all of this. I need all of that. Like,
it's still got little arms, but they're fucking massive.
Dude, the series you need.
Please, any artist that follows us, please make this a drawing. Make Hulk a T-Rex. Tiny little massive arms.
No, we've had Venom T-Rex. Why not?
But that's what I'm telling you, man, is Kazar, I know, I still keep going back to it. When the MCU started, Kevin Feige mentioned that that's one of the scripts he's really happy that they're working on. Yeah. Someday we will get Kazar into Savage Land, possibly with the X-Men. That's where I would do it.
I was going to say, I think the X-Men is the obvious place. For
I would love Arcade. Give us Arcade and him sitting there and putting the Avengers and the X-Men against each other in the arena.
So Arcade's a really good way to have like a horror type movie. Make it like a bit like Saw.
Yeah. I would like that.
I would just do the Avengers Arena, like Shay's saying. Do Avengers Arena with younger mutants and the new Avengers. Like, that's a great way to grow both brands, kind of pit them against each other in this Hunger Games style setting. Like,
And you could also make that a different universe.
No, you set that movie into Savage Land.
There you go. We got
that is money making right there. Oh my god. That's all the
that
dreams.
is actually because I remember I did read that. I don't think I finished the comic series. It was a smaller one, but that's what happened was they put them in. He abducted people and put them in like a Savage Land area, and then of course like you had his White Rabbit, and then of course that would be like the number one cosplayed thing. This year, once the world is back to normal and people are cosplaying again, it's going to be Joe Exotic. Come on. I don't know. Have you guys seen that Sylvester Stallone's family did it?
That's insane. It's funny.
It's hilarious.
I don't know. There's so many things I wanted to produce. Like a couple years ago when we did the same conversation, I was like, someday if they ever do it, I'd like to see Blade and Moon Knight. Well, I mean,
yeah,
here they come. People after years of saying they're never going to do it because it's Marvel Studios that are kidifying everything. Well, we're going to get it.
I want to know who thinks that Marvel Studios is kidifying right
those people.
Oh, literally go on Twitter.
Film experts, Shay. Film experts.
Yeah.
The same ones that have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as the greatest movie of the last decade. It's those type of people. It's you can do whatever you want with Marvel. Like Mitch, what's your dream scope scenario TV series movie?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of really obscure Marvel characters, and I can't.
You're getting Eternals.
Exactly. So I would have said Eternals before, but I can't say it now because they're doing it. I kind of still want an original Guardians movie, like the Jim Valentine team, but I don't know.
I'm excited that I've basically almost gotten my two favorite comic book series because we're getting the What If of zombies. Thank you. I love the zombie series, so we're getting that, and we already had Noir. At least not obviously in the MCU. We had that in Spider-Verse, but the only thing I'm missing is the 1602 universe.
Well, Neil Gaiman said he pitched a cartoon to Marvel Studios.
He did.
And they turned it down because they had other plans. I think 1602 What If is a given. That's... If not season 1, season 2 is like a guarantee, right?
Or maybe not even What If. They're doing the whole animated thing again. They can just make a What If movie.
Oh, true.
And here's the thing, though. When it came to the...
No, What If 1602, sorry.
Well, 1602, they actually even explained that somehow Captain America got launched into 1602, and he just became a Native American. And then he walks off state, he walks off center.
That wouldn't fly today.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. At least, mind you, it's been 8 years since I've read that comic. But that's from what I remember. He was the actual Captain America, but he got brought there by something, and realized that all of the people that he knew were there in 1602 as well. It's a great series. I love it. You all should go and see it. That's why my name is Michelle 1602. I love that series. But
I say do Great Lake Avengers.
What would you do, Tristan?
I've been trying to rack my brain around this, but there's not really much I would think, unless they could do the 2099 series.
Yeah. I mean, Sony will do it, so I don't know if you're excited about that.
No, I don't want Sony. They'll ruin
Tough, you're gonna get something. How they haven't actually announced the 2099 movie yet, I don't know.
That's the most Sony thing ever.
They're teasing it. Didn't you see Miguel?
Yeah, but they haven't announced him as a movie. We got bloody everything else. We got a Madam Web movie. But where's Miguel's movie? He's the obvious answer. People love that guy. 2099
literally checks off every single box you could want in a modern day blockbuster, plus some extra ones you don't want, and people are just waiting for it to discover that they want them. And it's how is this not a thing? Cyberpunk, Spider-Man, technically, minority character because he's Hispanic. You're literally checking off marks. You got Spider-Man in the name, futuristic. It's everything you could want in a movie, and they're no.
Yeah, because you can use that. You can also put Doom in there, Venom in there, a whole bunch of other 29 characters.
They might not be allowed to use Doom.
We can get the really awesome looking neon cyberpunk black cat from that series. I love that series costume so much.
Like I always say about 2099, if you're confused to which direction to go and you want to give it a throwback, make it a sequel to the film people love, which is Raimi. Just be like, it's 100 years after that. Kind of lines up with the setting, being like, look, in 2099, there was a Spider-Man, a legendary character back in the day. He was the only hero. Now there's... Yeah, he cried a lot. Now I'm going to cry because I got his powers or try to replicate him. Like, I think there's... 2099 is like the clear choice for Spider-Man. It's too good not to do. I just don't get it. I don't... Sony, right? Yeah, Sony. Any other like pie in the sky scenarios?
Give me something with Counter Earth. The whole high evolutionary animal people walking around. Do something like that.
Gosh.
Spider-Man Unlimited just hit me in the face.
I mean, essentially, he's.
I want a giraffe flying a Blade Runner car.
Wasn't
that was it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
That was the whole premise. Like Peter went to Counter Earth and fought the high evolutionary. And it looked like they had season 2 planned out, but it got canceled because it got defeated by Pokemon.
Yeah, it did.
Just bring back Neil Patrick Harris for Parker and do that one.
Everybody loves Neil Patrick Harris.
I mean, yeah, I know. I think Counter Earth would be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like crazy scenarios you could do, but honestly, we're kind of getting like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, like once you got those, you kind of realize anything else is possible, so...
Just literally throw a dart at the entire slate of Marvel, and you're probably going to get it, eventually.
Yep.
Give
me a pet Avengers. Do that. Getting like Throg.
What about the baby Avengers?
Yeah.
Avengers versus X-Men babies.
Scotty Young they'll do an animated episode of What If. I could see that happening as well.
Oh my gosh.
If they can translate Scotty Young's art to a cartoon, that'd be amazing. Like, I'm not a big fan of Scotty Young stuff, but that would be fantastic.
There's 2 different versions though. He has his chibi or his actual artwork is very... If you've read I Hate Fairy Tale Land...
I haven't, but I have seen...
It's a phenomenal series. I loved it so much.
I have heard this.
But that's not even his true art. Like, if you follow him on Instagram, his true art is very... Almost like if Tim Burton was slapped in the face a lot by cartoons. That is what describes his stuff. It's very, like, lanky and sideways and...
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's not for everyone, but if you could do either his chibi version, which is what made him famous, or that version into a cartoon, it'd be really interesting to see.
I think, okay, here, I'll give you a pie in the sky scenario. I want the Dark Phoenix in the MCU, but for sake of sparing us a third attempt at the Dark Phoenix, I want him to skew it to do the Phoenix 5. Instead of it taking all over just Jean Grey, give it to 5 X-Men and make them the villains for the film.
How many times do you want Jean to die?
No, not Jean once. Like, give it to Colossus, Cyclops, Emma. Give it to the proper people. Like, Namor by that time. Just be like, you guys got the powers. Fight the Avengers now. That's what I would do for my...
I'm slightly offended you left out Magic in that line.
Yeah, well...
doesn't that mean you want Cyclops to be a major asshole again?
I mean,
he always is. I mean,
because
that's kind of like Scott's logical conclusion.
Because people are all, he's not an asshole. I'm like, what?
He wasn't like 20 years ago.
Yeah, but now he's mostly because. Like, there's the famous line when he did become a part of the Phoenix 5 is like, with great power comes great opportunity. And I'm like, that's not what a hero should say.
Oh, he saw Magneto's
In fairness
ring.
to him, he is possessed by the Phoenix at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, the Phoenix made him an even bigger asshole.
So, yeah, that's our, what we would want. We'll probably get back to this in a little bit when we hear what more of What If is coming and be like, oh, what else could they do? But Yeah.
See, that's a question I needed to think about more, not just have it like dropped on me.
Well,
you had to think. You always have to be on
I'm
your
on
toes.
the wrong podcast.
Here's a good one since we're going to talk more about Spider-Man. Where do you guys want Spider-Man to go in the MCU after the 2 films like that they're going to wrap up? And this is coming from the Schiller Watch. The Schiller, okay.
Kill him.
And what happens with the character in the future? And he says, personally, I want him home with Marvel Studios and Sony to focus more on, Valiant and Image stuff. So
Why keep saying Image? What did the Image do to you?
what did they do for punishment?
Todd McFarlane.
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh. Yeah. So again, I think $20.99 is the opportune thing. Here's the thing. Introduce Madam Web in any stupid movie you want, because we know they're dead set on introducing Madam Web to this universe, because they've been trying to get it off the ground since TASM 1. Introduce her anywhere. Show us a fractured web of 100 different Spider-Men, and just pick and choose anything that's not another reboot or another cookie cutter. Here's Peter Parker again. Look at Uncle Ben get RoboCop.
I mean, they're
to
all
death.
going to
Like,
do that. 'Cause
Jesus.
that's all Spider-Man does in whatever universe.
It's so boring.
Well, luckily, I feel that once Marvel has him completely home, he is basically, by the 3rd one, he should be he's, I think, a senior now. So he's going to be going off and doing his own thing. If he has basically all of Tony's resources at his whim, then I can see them doing Parker Industries and him being a side character, and Spider-Man kind of just growing up and not actually having his own movies anymore.
Would that be maybe if they can't reach a new deal, how they could establish him? He has Parker Industries, he'll make tech for the world now, and we never see Peter again. Like, he just retires.
I love Tom Holland.
Well, okay, we'll tell Sony that, because they need to listen, not us. I mean, they're the ones that want to take him out.
Sony, go away and leave us Tom Holland. There, listen to me.
Yeah, but the people...
Yeah, you want Tom Holland and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If we just stuck with Tom Holland, it's kind of like, oh, what are you here for?
They'll recast him as the new Iron Fist. There's a what-if scenario.
Mind you, he knows all that martial arts kind of backflippy, kicky
That's
stuff,
true.
so it'd be interesting to see him as the Iron
So,
Fist, actually.
Here's my split with Sony and, what they're doing with Spider-Man. Let's say that Morbius comes out next year. Or whenever it ends up getting released.
Oh, but it is coming out next year. They delayed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, let's say it comes out, and that movie somehow, magically, miraculously, makes like $500 million.
It could. Look at Venom.
This is the ultimate pie in the sky scenario.
So is Venom.
I hope Sony just looks at that and goes, let's produce every villain possible and not touch Spider-Man and just continue our deal with Marvel and Disney. Like, hopefully...
Allow Spider-Man himself to go 100% back. And just like you're saying, allow Sony to keep the villains except for Black Cat. Black Cat goes to Marvel.
So what do you do with the Spider-Man films at Marvel then?
No, he would have.
Just continue
Marvel
on?
would have
No,
Spider-Man.
but like, if Sony have all the villains, what do you do with Spider-Man at Marvel?
Well, he's Iron Man Jr., so he's going to fight a living laser. Oh, actually, that'd be kind of cool. Well, that'd be great. Alright, you know what? Make him Iron Man Jr. more. I could make him fight a living laser. I'll take that.
I love the Iron Man Rogue Gallery. Like, give them some love.
Well, like, he can just sit there and you could potentially have him other things that we've said. He could help teach the new Avengers. Like,
Future Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. He could be a part of them. Like, there's so much that Spider-Man could go and do. He doesn't need his villains to be great.
Honestly, if he stayed in the MCU proper, right? And if they, let's say hypothetically they work out a deal where Spider-Man could keep appearing in other movies, but he can't have continuing solo films in the MCU, and Sony can keep using them or whatever, how they want. I'd be okay with, like, yeah, he appears in the Fantastic Four film or the next Avengers, or he appears, I don't know, along with the X-Men or something. Like, I'd be okay with that, honestly. Like, I don't think I need more than a trilogy. Like, would I like it? Yes. Do I need it? Not necessarily, because I would love to see a trilogy based on the high school years, which is what we're getting, and then 3 on the college years, and then 3 as the adult, because we literally could have lived with Spider-Man like through his entire life. But
we all want to live with Tom Holland anyways.
Dude,
so.
he's such a cool guy, like, to talk about it, and he loves Spider-Man so much. It's like, dude,
okay.
I want to, like, grow up with this character and have that feeling like I'm connected to him like I was with Iron Man, like I was with Cap, right? Like, because we spent a decade of our lives watching these characters grow, so when something happens to him, you're, like, heartbroken. That's why we felt emotionally resonant with it. Well, nobody I know had any emotion when Superman got killed in BBS, because it was like, okay, who's this character still?
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, Henry Cavill. Everybody loves you as The Witcher, but when it comes to Superman, they botched
the script
you as
failed
him.
The script failed.
Henry Cavill for Hyperion.
Yes.
But one thing that I really would like to say, though, when it comes to, like, us loving Tom Holland and wanting to have him here, like, a little side note thing that he does, him and his brothers have the Brothers Trust, which is an organization that helps, like, animal abuse. And they currently, because everybody is doing self-isolation and things like that, they're doing, like, jigsaw wars. That you and your family do a jigsaw puzzle together, and they're posting it. So it's... like, this is kind of like what Spider-Man does. Like, you try to do what you can of a bad situation and make it happy. Like, he's doing the... we have this poster. It's the Marvel characters in a poster.
Oh, they're a good poster.
It's a puzzle that they're doing. So...
yeah, I mean...
Nice.
Here's a Spider-Man scenario I want. I want them to bring back Andrew Garfield in some capacity. Because
No,
I think he was done wrong. Like, I feel sorry for how they treated him, because
That's
he
true.
loves that character. So did everybody working on those movies. But they got the utmost Sony amount of disrespect. I don't care if it's a multiverse movie or something. I just want them to bring him back and give us a little peek into that universe and be like, sorry we did you dirty. Let us just do something right. Like, I don't care if it's a Spider-Verse live-action film or whatever. Just, I would like some closure to that storyline. Just because, I didn't love TASM 2, but I do want something out of that, like a final chapter of sorts.
At least give him the good nod, goodbye, kind of thing. I do understand wanting to do. I actually just saw recently somebody posted, they're like, why was this not the thing? And it was Spider-Verse, and the doorbell rings, and here's Tobey Maguire's character coming through the door with his can of, I think it was cranberries from that movie. And he's like, sorry, I'm late, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I really would like a proper goodbye of those particular characters, or having all 3 of them together.
Yeah, I think a live-action Spider-Verse is the way to do that, honestly. Like, which Sony, that's their end goal anyway, so,
Yep.
Why not?
They first have to... I can see it when it actually comes back to Marvel, because I feel Sony did Tobey Maguire and
They did everyone dirty.
Andrew Garfield a little too dirty for them to ever want to come back under their name.
Yeah. What? I mean, that's the Sony MO, I guess, at this point. So, yeah, anything else anybody would like to see? I mean, a noir live-action movie would be nice.
That would be sick.
I just want to focus on one. To be honest, I really don't want, like, Spider-Verse is great and all. It's got a lot of problems with it personally, but it's still great. I just want to focus on the one, because like the whole problem with what Sony's doing is it's oversaturation.
Well, yeah, but that's the freaking tactic,
It's just kind of like, I just want to just focus on what the Peter Parker we have and concentrate on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just do the Sinister Six right. Whether you kill him off and do the ultimate thing or not, I don't know. I personally kill him off because that has the weight behind it.
Doesn't that mean they kill off Tom Holland's Spider-Man because it's the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
No,
Exactly.
Mitch,
Exactly.
no.
I don't trust them.
No.
It's
No.
like the greatest Spider-Man run in history. You follow that to the T. You do that.
All right.
If
Fine,
not,
when he's-
beforehand, do the Clone Saga from the Ultimates and give us that one. Give us Jessica Drew that way.
Yeah, that could work. Bring in Spider-Gwen as well. Do that. Do Silk. Do anything.
Too many spiders.
Can we have Silk? Like,
there's so many characters. They're like, can we reboot Spider-Man again? No. Just, oh God, they're so dumb. Use one of the Spider clones for the love of God. Like,
do you want to know how happy people would be if we got Ben Reilly?
Yeah, all the '90s edgelords that made Venom a close to $1 billion film would be at that film.
So 15 of them right now, right?
Yeah.
That's all I ever see is people who want Ben Reilly back, but for the most part, they just want the costume back.
Give us that. Give us Kane. Kane's a good clone as well. I like that one.
Was Kane a good clone?
I liked him.
I loved his run.
Yeah, with his recent runs, he was better than Ben, and and the Ben fans got mad when Kane used his costume.
Dude, Kane's suit was amazing when he finally got it, like the majority red with the black.
Red one.
Oh, so beautiful. So yeah, that's our Spidey combo. Hopefully, our last stop here from Kyrie Gregory. I think I said that right, Kyrie. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. Can you guys discuss about same-day releases, if there'll be a thing, and will there be a fall of movie theaters?
I mean, like currently, you probably will get some movie theaters closing down.
Yeah.
It's like don't want to quote like Thanos. It's inevitable. There's gonna be closings because even when some of this blows over, a lot of people are not going to go flocking to the movie theaters really soon.
I mean,
China's a perfect example of that. They reopened for a little bit. They averaged like a ticket a day.
Yep. Like, Shane and I talked about that today.
Literally.
I'm not going for the first 3 months. Like, there's no way you're going to find me back in the theater that quick.
Yeah, and even with the China thing, they tried to get people to go back to the movie theaters by releasing a bunch of Avengers movies, Spider-Man movies, and barely anybody went.
Well, so I think it was the 4 Avengers, Avatar, I think Inception was one of them.
Yeah, yep. And I mean, just the idea of movie theaters' future, like your AMC, your Regal, those big chains, they're fine. Like,
I'm saying that everything's gonna get a bailout.
Yeah, the smaller ones are gonna have a harder time. The problem is, people are gonna start getting used to watching more and more stuff at home, which is happening. And the industry, anyway. I'll take you back to the last investors call with Disney, where Bob Iger said the time to delivery on video, on demand, and digital is shrinking to the point where it's almost going to become negligible. It's like, oh, I didn't see it in theater. All right, 5-6 weeks, it's on demand and it's available. It's getting to that point because there's so many blockbusters stacked on top of each other that, your window shrinks to how many people you can reach. And sure, an Avengers will be in theaters for 3 months, right? Okay, yes, that happens. But again, Avengers Endgame was out on physical media when it was still in theaters. It is shrinking, and I think it's viable that starting a couple years from now, you'll probably see a pretty decent shift towards digital delivery becoming a thing. Once HBO Max and Disney Plus and all that realize that we have enough subscribers to justify putting out a $150 million movie on our service, and if they want to pay $10 extra to get it, within a week, and they start making more of a profit, I think it'll take over.
Here's the thing: they haven't got to wait that long. They just literally put Onward on there right now.
True.
Yes, this is slightly different circumstances. That did have a theatrical release, and it was a very unfortunate timing. But that movie still cost between $175 million and $200 million. It's on there. You had a 2-week pay to view or 24-hour rental period, or whatever it was, and then it's on Disney Plus for free. So they already tried it out with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's done good or not, we'll never know. I know They said Birds of Prey got beaten up by Bloodshot, and what is wrong with people? But you're not going to hear about Onward on Disney Plus or anything.
Wait, did you actually just say Bloodshot beat Birds of Prey?
It did. Yeah.
What?
Yes, it did. All the Bloodshot fans bought so many copies.
We haven't even watched that yet.
Like, Birds of Prey admittedly did have a theatrical run beforehand. Bloodshot
Right.
really kind of didn't. So people that were going to see Birds of Prey saw it anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that no one kind of went, oh, I'll watch Birds of Prey, and it's like, oh, I'll watch Bloodshot instead. It's just like, oh, no.
Like,
maybe we deserve what's happening right now.
Here's
Wow.
my thing, like, with the whole digital push, right? I mean, I know it's stupid. It is the dumbest thing I could say, but I just want to play devil's advocate. That's what I'm doing here. I don't support this decision, just so people can understand. What if they're like, well, we don't know when Black Widow can release. We don't know what to do. We're going to re-edit this thing into 4 30-minute episodes for Disney+.
No, please, no, don't.
I wouldn't do it, but
That's horrific.
I could see that being... Because their content, they're going to... I mean...
It's going to get stagnant.
It's getting stagnant already. And
I was going to say, for the States, it's stagnant. For, like, Europe, well, most of Europe, it's completely fresh. For the most part, but...
Like, what if we get to August, September, and we're not seeing Falcon and Winter Soldier? You're going to need content. Do you just drop Black Widow on there before that, during that? Like, what would you do? And I saw somebody say, well, yeah, maybe they should cut up Black Widow into a series. I'm like, I don't want that. No. But if that's the way they have to do it to get people to stay on and deliver content, I wouldn't support it, but I'd be like, you know what? I understand why you're doing it. I would understand that business approach, which...
But why do that when you can just make a separate tier? Because making a separate tier is not difficult.
That's exactly what I would do, though.
It's
separate
really
tier.
not. You make a separate tier. You undercut what everyone else is doing slightly.
Yep.
So you make it like $13, and you go like, right here, you can rent it for 48 hours.
Here, I would undercut in the scummiest way possible. And it's not a sly. I wouldn't like put it against them, but I would go for the price of our competitors 1 month for $12.99 right now. You can watch Black Widow and Mulan on our,
I wouldn't
premium
put both
tier.
in there.
Like, yeah,
I wouldn't bundle with that. That'd be separate.
Oh no, separately, but you word it so it's like, oh, $12.99 for this movie. Okay, so you're the same price as Netflix. But I get this movie that's coming out to theaters. Like, that price, people might go, you know what? All right, click. Like, it's a good price. Once you get to $20, I realize people are like, maybe not. If you say 10 to 15, that's kind of an instant buy sometimes. Like, I've been like that with video games on PlayStation Plus. I'm like, this game's $20. Hell no. $16.99. I'm like, done.
No, Bloodshot's buy and keep over here. I think you buy and keep it in the States as well. It's not actually a rental. But that's like 15, 16. And, that's clearly been getting a lot. So, or I don't know if it's a lot, but it's something to get.
Oh yeah, so Bloodshot is buy and keep over here as well. $20. Huh. Okay.
When it comes to movies, I've noticed, at least in the States, $20 or $19.99. You don't add that penny.
Yeah.
Don't add that penny, but $19.99. That's what is like that's good. That's a good price. If you were to put it like at 21, nah, nobody's gonna buy it.
Yeah, no.
Or even putting it to the straight up 20. I don't know why. I'm one of those people. I always will round up. Like when we do our our money management and our bookkeeping and stuff like that, like for our personal stuff, I round up because I would rather overestimate how much we have spent for that month of allowance for like food and stuff. But most people don't like doing that. They like to go under. So if you sit there and you put the price of under 20, $19.99, people are really happy about that. It's almost like how gas prices, like right now our gas prices are $2.09, but technically they are actually $2.10 because they're $2.09 and then 9/10.
Yeah, it's that weird. It's that, like, you don't make a video game console $500, you make it $499.99.
Yep.
It's just, it's that little thing. It
might only be a penny, but that penny.
It's a really interesting conversation to have about a digital future. I think we're going to see it in the next 2 years, really, once everything trickles down from the theater shutdown and all that. I think we're going to see a cause and effect. I think it will be.
Because the whole argument for day and date, like I am on the side of day and date.
Same.
Like, yes, there's a lot of pushback against it, and I understand why. People be like, "Oh, why do you want to kill the theaters?" And it's like, well, I don't. People said you're going to kill bookstores when books went digital. Guess what's still knocking around?
Right.
People are going to say you're going to kill GameStop and game when digital games came a thing. Guess what's still around? GameStop might not last past this, but who knows?
It's killing itself.
Oh, no,
exactly.
they're doing this to themselves. Like GameStop's doing it to itself.
Like comics are day and date. You get the digital version of that for free.
Yep.
The comic shops are still like the ones that we have are still around. You know, even now you buy the digital during this whole thing. You get the physical when they start printing again. So,
oh, that's cool.
Like a lot of people are like scared that things are going to go away. Like they won't. You know, giving people more options isn't going to kill the other one. Like it's as simple as that.
I could tell you, like, you know, from personal experience, it's like, look, if it's a big event movie, people want to go to the theater for that experience, to experience in an IMAX or big screen format. But if it's something like Bloodshot, I'll use that for example. If that would have been day and date digital, if this entire thing didn't happen, they're like, look, you can go to the theater, it has a release, but at home, $20, rent it for 2 days. Shen, I probably would have, actually, I guarantee we would have bought it for $20, just been like, let's just sit at home, invite a couple friends over and watch it. It would have. It's like, I don't need to see Bloodshot on a giant screen like I need to see in Avengers. But again, it's different, you know, industry, like ways to approach giving money to the same industry, and I really just want them to understand that this isn't a problem. Like, again, to go back to video games, for example, like when it comes to piracy measures, right? You see companies going through hell and back to try to put the latest anti-piracy, like on PC gaming currently it's Denuvo. It can literally make your PC run like half of its full power while you're playing a game because it's constantly like cycling your CPUs and graphics card and it's killing performance. CD Projekt Red goes, we have no anti-piracy. You can literally get our entire game without piracy, and their games and good old games, their service, which they own, skyrockets in sales because people want to support the measure of not supporting these like ways of delivery that could possibly harm you or get in the way. Again, if you just talk to the people, be like, hey, look, we understand. Here's this new outlet. People will shift to it. Like it's just, it's always the people in the suits that don't even care about this making the decisions because they don't understand how the future has, you know, like changed from 20 years ago. But
like at the same time, it's like, what's the logical endpoint of a streaming service? Why do they want a streaming service? It's so they can completely bypass any distribution method.
Yep.
And put it out there themselves.
Yep.
You put a movie on there, you charge 13 to 20, whatever you want to charge. You're not having to split that with anybody. That is purely all for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And kind of to go though back to like what Armin was saying when it comes to people wanting to gather, people also do love the food and things like that are at the theaters. Like you have this like iconic almost taste. You can go to the store, yes, and buy a bag of movie theater popcorn. It doesn't taste like movie theater popcorn. Like our local theater, because of the fact that they have all of this stock that they understand is possibly going to go bad by the time they're able to reopen again, that they did a curbside of the day. And they literally made fresh popcorn for people. You can go pick up fresh popcorn and be able to still have that movie theater popcorn at home. And it was actually supporting still your local theater. So people are still going to go to the theater once everything is back to normal. But this is a way to allow some people... Imagine this also. Our theater is an amazing theater that does sensory versions of films. They keep
sensory versions.
Yep. Well, what it is they keep the lights on.
Yeah, you gotta explain.
That's what I was getting ready to do. They keep the lights on, and they allow children to just walk around. They don't have it as loud, and it allows it so that people don't have to feel like, oh gosh, I have to keep shushing my kid. it's so that other people can go and still enjoy it, and you can have like herds of kids just kind of running around doing their thing and be able to still watch the movie. And it's very, very popular. And
so that sounds really odd. I can't imagine that actually being a thing, but
it is
for
here.
little kids. I see why they do it. It's like, okay, that kind of makes makes sense.
And because like we'll go to the theater and we see people bringing newborn babies into the theater.
Yep.
That's an area that if you want to go and see this movie and you're afraid your newborn baby's going to start crying, you don't have to worry. You can go watch the movie and there'll probably be about another 10 people there with newborn babies crying. Like, it's almost like also the drive-in theaters. You just sit in your own car, you could be loud and obnoxious in your car and you're not affecting the people around you. That's kind of like what they allowed to do there. So when it comes to the digital aspect, people then don't have to worry, am I going to bother others?
And also, because Mitch was saying about it, so I want to get the fact right. Let's say when it comes to like something like that, you know, the theater and all that, and they have the tickets and everything like Shay's talking about, off a $20 DVD, the studio currently makes 60% profit. So off of $10, they make $6. So $30 brand new Blu-ray, you do the math, they're making $6 to $7 every time. So they're making good. Digital delivery, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like that's again, I think they have to test out these numbers and look at them for themselves and be like, how viable is this? And I think we're gonna get to that. It's definitely coming.
Also, someone brought us up in our Facebook group and they went about it the wrong way. Disney has no current revenue stream. They have Disney Plus, fair enough.
Yep.
They have no other outward revenue stream, and they are going to be hemorrhaging money. Admittedly, like, you know, how many Disney parks in the world? Is it 3, 4?
12.
Really?
Yep.
I watched Disney Imagineering. There are 12 Disney parks, mind you.
Oh, see, I'm only episode 2 into that because that's the idea.
So it's an awesome series, but there are 12 parks because in like Anaheim alone, there's technically 3.
Okay.
Because Disney Adventureland, Disney World, Disneyland, Animal Kingdom, those are technically different parks.
Yeah.
So
let's just say like the big ones, the big main.
There's about 6 or 7 big ones, or if you want to say different states or countries, there's about 6.
Yeah. So like you got California, you got Florida, you got Paris, you got Tokyo.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is the revenue.
They cost like 3.4 stupid money a day to run.
Yeah.
Like, over the course of it, like it's going to take them about 18 months for each one to lose $1 billion, just from that alone, the way they operate. So if you like stack up all that on top of each other, they're losing a lot right now. They got nothing to put out, and they got massive movies. Like Mulan should have come out by now. That's not making anything. That's sitting on the shelf somewhere. Black Widow's such a current end of the month for me. Like that's sitting on the shelf somewhere right now. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier isn't finished. They can edit everything they've done. They can't finish it to put it out because they had like a week of filming left to finish like 3 episodes. So that's going to be sitting on the shelf. They got nothing new coming to Disney Plus. WandaVision might come out.
Yeah.
We don't know how. Like we know they finished filming. We don't know where they're currently at and what they can do at home.
Honestly, I think come like the beginning of summer, if we get to mid-June and there's no new release dates, I think digital is the way they're going to just go.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, if they start losing people from Disney Plus, that's not great.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have literally nothing coming in at that point. Mm-hmm. So what do you do to drive people there? Because I can, like, yes, people on the internet don't like the idea. The internet's a bubble.
Yeah.
You put Black Widow out on that thing right now when people are being told to stay inside, you're going to get people to stay inside for a couple of hours.
And to prove a point for that, you can downvote a Brie Larson car commercial all you want, but when the numbers came out, that car ended up actually getting boost for searches and sales because of Brie Larson. So just because you downvoted it to like a 90% dislike ratio, did nothing in the grand scheme of things because people are like, oh, Captain Marvel car. Again, internet bubble versus reality. So again,
and it's like
yes,
like you know, there's obviously contracts in place that movies kind of have to go out. There's nowhere to currently put them out. Like, I know some movies are like Wonder Woman went to August. I can't see things being fine by August.
Same.
And it's like, well, if everything's moving to next year, what do you do next year? Where do you put Black Widow next year? Is the question.
Next year, apparently, if everything's getting delayed there, we're literally going to be at the theaters with a blockbuster every weekend, 2 movies? Like, what?
Exactly. And no one's going to do that.
No.
Nope.
No one's going to want to go that quickly. So then your movie loses money, which is the main argument people have for put it on demand.
Yep.
Or on like digital or whatever. So you're losing money regardless at this point. Why not try and get a little something 100% instead of losing silly amounts by putting it out and having to split that loss?
Right. No, I agree with all that.
No, we're not in the current norm, and I don't think people understand that. Especially like people like Forbes. Like Forbes had a really good article for why they shouldn't release it. They missed a lot of reasons that kind of point to you kind of maybe should.
And here's the thing, though. Like, imagine if, like for Black Widow, you put it out on digital, and we even talked about this last time. You put it out on digital, people have already bought it, they watched it, they loved it. The world is spinning again, and people are wanting to get back into the theaters. What do? You give it a weekend blockbuster release in theaters so the cosplayers can go and do their thing. You can go and enjoy it with other people. And say you only do it like their Phantom events that they bring back old films. You bring it in for a day or a weekend and be like, here, like we understand you already saw this possibly at home. What if they make it so that you can use your free ticket? You can use whatever be able to...
Again, you welcome back to the world. Here's that thing. Come back out, community, celebrate, make it a Marvel event. I think
but when do you do that, though? That's the thing. Because there's a couple of things with that. It's a fantastic idea. But if you look at re-releases don't make a lot of money.
No, yeah.
Like Endgame re-release, admittedly, that's probably too soon. It's a really bad example. It pushed it over the threshold for highest grossing of all time. It didn't make a lot.
No, it didn't.
So you're going to kind of get that with Black Widow on top of having this fear of being in a crowd of people.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got these two things going against what is essentially is a really good idea. People would go to it, but you'd have to do that so far down the line when everyone's already seen it, everyone has already owned it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, by summer, I think we're going to have a clear picture. By what would be Comic-Con, we're going to know exactly what the status for the rest of the year is, theatrical releases, and digital more, because the next couple months will be interesting, and we're going to have a bigger, picture painted in front of us. And I think we'll revisit this conversation with a little bit of a different look at what's coming.
Because we'll have a little more knowledge.
Yeah.
And just like my final point on everything, like I don't want to obviously bring up everything because we want to try and get away from what's going on right now.
Yeah.
The way, and it's not political, it's just how it's working right now. The way America's handling this.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's a joke.
You're going to be lagging behind the rest of the world. This is coming from someone in the UK who's not particularly handling it well.
Yeah.
But we're better than Sweden because they ain't doing nothing. But the longer it gets dragged out and no one locks down, and no one's inside, and you just can get more and more cases. The longer this lasts, which means the longer period of time you have before you can't release your movie out.
Yep.
So, like the telltale sign for what that Disney are currently doing is they haven't given it a date.
Exactly. Yep.
Majority of people have gone, "This is our new flag." Look at Sony. They moved their movies forward a year and some into this year, which. That's a Sony. But let's just bring this movie into October. Like that's if we're, everyone wants to go in October. Like who knows? But the longer America drags this out for, because everything's American. Yeah, everything operates in America. Hollywood's America.
Hollywood, literally.
Exactly. So if theaters can't open in America, it's not going to be dropped anywhere.
Yep. Exactly.
Where can you drop it? You can drop it on demand.
Yep.
And at least that way the world can have it. Like Here's my thing when it comes to Disney. If you start seeing Disney being like, we're pushing the button that now more and more countries have Disney Plus quicker than they originally were going to announce it, that's how you can tell all these movies are going.
They did move a few ahead of schedule. So.
I was going to say they moved a lot of Europe's forward a week. They moved India forward 3 weeks.
Yep.
So they're preparing in case they have to.
You test the infrastructure now, Because what if, come May 4th, Black Widow was supposed to be... What if that's your, let's announce it then for a couple weeks out. Again, I think they're playing, they're playing chess right now, seeing what's going to be the victory move. Yeah. That's really how it goes.
And also, like Comic-Con, that's not going to go. That's not going to happen.
Nope. No.
Like America could get there. Pull the finger out the ass, the peak and flat, and it can all go away magically, like Trump said. That's not. No one's. 5,000 people aren't going to pack into that thing. It doesn't. It also doesn't help the fact that it's now a substitute hospital or a makeshift hospital. Yep. So you can't get people out of Hall H because you've got all these sick people in there. So
and I mean, Hall H is the IGN theater. Guess what IGN has said? They're not doing any of that. They're not even. They literally handed over the IGN theater to them to be like, here you go again.
Yep.
Oh, look at the world and just go, yeah. Unrealistic.
A lot of people right now are doing, like, I think it's Wizard World. I may be wrong on what comic convention is doing it. They're doing full virtual conventions right now.
That is really cool.
They sat there and they're like, it's free. You can come in and try to do a Q&A. They're raffling off like signatures and things like that, because they're wanting people to still have their experience. And we have a friend who has already done this. He has been doing virtual Comic-Cons for a couple years now.
Yeah, it's smart,
And he did it just because it's a way that everybody all year round can sell their merchandise in a Comic-Con kind of setting. So you can sit there and be like, I like this person, and like, here you go. And then you can see where they're going to go. And it's an amazing feature that now, I bet you everybody is like, he was already ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, give it till midsummer. We'll be back with an update, and I guarantee you we'll have a better outlook as to what is coming down. That has been the podcast. We definitely talked for a while. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's one of our longest podcasts, surprisingly, with only 4 questions, but we gave you some good Joe Exotic talk. So.
I mean, if you take out the Tiger King bit, it's actually only 45 minutes.
But the Tiger King bit is gold.
Obviously, the Tiger King's essential.
Essential. Yeah.
It's an essential service in these times, so you're welcome.
It's true.
Yes.
That bit.
I actually sat there and I saw an article, or somebody wrote, hey, I was in the woods for a long time.
What are you, Jared Leto?
And I just, and I just got my phone charged. What have I missed? And it's literally a rundown, and it's like, and to think that who is saving humanity's sanity right now is Joe Exotic. So thank you, Joe Exotic. That's kind of
scary. That's really scary.
So, remember everybody,
go see Tiger King.
And keep the world exotic again.
Keep it again, or make it exotic?
I don't know. Has it been? It's been pretty kinky, so it's kind of. All right.
The world has been.
That's fair.
Yeah. So there you go. Go do what you can. Stay inside. Play some video games. Listen to this podcast. Thanks for supporting us.
Thank you, guys.
You're all good stuff, and we'll see you all next week here for another show and more Q&A and us some news drops, which is doubtful. But regardless, we'll see you guys.
Maybe a new documentary will come out that everybody will be talking about.
We'll get Lizard Kings, and it'll be about...
So Joe Rogan podcast?
Half of it, yeah. So there you go. Later, everybody.
Bye.